Welcome back to Steve Robb Reviews. As promised, I said I would review this Vosker V150 security camera that I installed in a previous video up at my camp in Northern Ontario. And in this video, I'm going to go over the items that I had challenges with this camera, and I'm going to discuss it. And this is a period of the first 2 weeks of me owning this camera. So I'd like to present just the points that I had difficulty with and understanding. And you may not experience the same things, but well, to tell you what, I found it very challenging. And I'm going to go over some of the things that may make the transition for you much easier. So the first question that I had was, okay, so I only have one bar. And sometimes that one bar on my cellular phone drops off to zero. So I installed the camera. If you want, I'll put a picture here of where the camera is. And first, let's just take a look at where it's mounted up at my place up in Northern Ontario. And it's on my small little garage. And let's take a look at that picture first. Okay, so can any of you spot the camera? Well, of course, you that are following the channel, you know where it is. But let's just zoom in a bit and you know, you can actually see where the camera is mounted. In this particular video, I was installing the second solar panel that is just above it. And if you want, I'll put some videos down below if you'd like to follow along on what I did to get this cellular camera to work off of 12 volts. And if you look in the far side where my flags are, in the background you see a small little antenna. Well, I actually devised an idea to change a 120 volt cell phone signal booster to operate off a 12 volt battery. And it's running up there 24/7 and it's running awesome, no problem. And all I needed was that one solar panel, but I installed another one for a future project. So let's get back to the review here. And I tried to operate this cellular camera off of one bar. It would connect, but of course, you know, cell phone signals are like, you know, up and down, and it would disconnect. And so this is where the idea of the cell phone signal booster went into effect. Now I get between 60 and 80% cell phone strength 24/7, no problem. And that's what it's been over time. Now, would I recommend that you buy one of these if you only have one bar? I would say, you know, it's like flipping a coin, because you know, if you've got a steady one bar where you are, okay, it may work. But for me, it didn't. And they do sell an additional antenna for $100. And I thought, okay, I can design this thing for $200. And that's what I did. So I designed it for $200, and I knew it was going to work, because I didn't want to spend the money on the $100 and still not have it work, right? Because I don't know how good that antenna was, right? I'm just new at this. I have no affiliation with Vosker. I just bought their product, I'm using it, and now I'm doing the review. So one bar, I'd say, well, you might as well flip a coin, and you're going to have to deal with that after the fact. But so far, yeah, I faced some challenges on the app, not the camera. The camera was like, I tell you what, it took me like next to no time to take it out of the box. You have to charge the battery first, of course, mount it, get it up and running where I could look at the app, and tops maybe half an hour. I mean, that's me going up on the ladder, mounting it and everything else, and taking my time. I mean, come on, it was like the simplest thing that I've ever done. And what I like about the Vosker is I didn't have to go and get like a SIM card from a cell carrier. You know, it already come ready to go. So let's go to some of the challenges I had with the app and what I had to do to try and figure this system out. Because I tell you what, I looked at all of Vosker's stuff. I looked at all their presentations. I looked at all their you know, if this don't work, try this. If this don't work, try that. There's so many things that were not discussed. So you're going to have to actually call Vosker for many times to find out how something works, or you can watch the video. So let's start off the video right here and let's see where this goes. Well, here we are here with a notification that I got, and if you just take a look here, alerting notification 12:01 a.m. So let's take a look at the pictures here. Okay, so the first picture, well, you can obviously see that it's daylight, and I got that one at 11:30 in the morning, and there's absolutely no car detected there. And the next one I got was at roughly 8 o'clock in the morning, and no car detected there. It's completely useless to me to have car detected at 12:01 a.m. when the picture is not sent to me till 12:01 a.m. and the pictures were taken like early the previous morning. So let's take a look at what that picture looks like when you actually have it requested for a high definition picture. And you're not going to get a high definition picture until the camera communicates the following day, and then it'll actually show up in your gallery as a high definition picture. So let's take a look at that picture next. So this is the picture of the object, and you could see before I wasn't too sure if that was a dog or a wolf or what it was. Now you can see that it's a deer, and the pictures are quite good. I mean, I can actually just take a look at the camera and the photos, and you can see when you have to go up and cut the grass. I mean, the picture quality I found is pretty good, and I have no complaints about the picture quality. Okay, so I just got off the phone with Vosker, and I said to them exactly, how do I get this camera to just actually work specifically for my needs as a security camera? So when it spots a human or it spots a vehicle, that it's going to send me a notification, you know, within a couple of minutes, like it says in the instructions. And well, I got the resolve, and it seems very logical to me, but I did look at this format in the past, and I figured maybe I'm not supposed to pick this selection. So I'll show you on the bench here exactly what I ran into, and how this is how you actually turn this camera into a full-time security camera. All the other formats are pretty, well, I think are pretty reasonable to figure out. I don't think you'll have any challenges. The only thing that I had a little bit of a problem with was what they consider transfer time, communication time, you know, and this kind of stuff. It kind of just, well, I wasn't too sure, especially when I'm trying to figure out how to get this to work strictly as a security camera. So let's go over to the bench here, and I'll show you how easy it is just with the press of a button to turn this into a full-time security camera. So it'll take a picture anytime it spots whatever you have set the app to, whether you want to take all pictures of movement, or if you only want to have notifications from, say, like in their format, it'll show a human or it'll show a vehicle. So we'll just go directly to where you resolve this, and I'll show you a little bit of a hiccup that I had when I was kind of not too sure whether I should pick this or not, and that's why I called Vosker. Okay, so here we are on the app, and we're looking at the cellular setup, and I've just been adjusting the settings once in a while just to see exactly how different things work. So we're going to change this like I was instructed, and you just go to right here. You see where this is going to communicate 1 time a day, 2 times a day, 6 times a day, 12 times a day. The only way that you can get this to work as a security camera is at each detection. So let's press that. Now this is where I got a little hung up. Warning. Now it is recommended to use a 12-volt power supply with this camera configuration. So that's where I kind of stopped, and I thought, okay, maybe I shouldn't pick this format, because you know what, it says recommended to use a 12-volt power supply. Well, that camera's not hooked up to no 12-volt power supply, and so let's call Vosker and find out what this is all about, I thought. So this is the result. So imagine yourself, you're a corporation, and you're deciding you have to actually, well, make some instructions on how people can operate this this unit that you've brought out into the market. And it's very difficult to put everything in there that you could possibly think of. So that's why they have the helpline, right? So When I looked at that box previously, I thought, well, I only got a solar panel and I got a rechargeable battery in there, and am I supposed to pick that? Because when you see that warning, you're going, okay, woo, something wrong here, right? So I phoned and they said, well, in reality, that battery should be fine. I should have no problems at all, because a lot of people using it for security may have, say, 100 people walk by whatever the thing that they're watching every hour. Well, of course, it's going to drain the battery down like nothing, right? So they said, how many pictures are you expecting, or, where it's located? And I said, well, I'm expecting no pictures. But it'd be nice to have a picture every once in a while, right? So I said, all you have to do is just change the format like I did before. So if you looked in the screen there, you could see I had it set for 8 a.m. in the morning. Take one picture. That's it. Then I can go back to putting it back on security, right? So it was as easy as that, and as easy as making a phone call, because, well, when you got a new piece of technology and you're not too sure how it operates, it's the first time I've operated one. Well, I'll tell you what, it's a little bit of a challenge trying to configure all this stuff, especially when I seen the warning. I thought, okay, I'm stopping right there. Well, it's all resolved. And would I recommend this camera? Well, so far, I like it. I'm going to do another review over the winter time and in springtime. I'll show you some pictures, see what it's got. And in the meantime, I would say yes, absolutely. I didn't show the camera and all that kind of stuff. I mean, the camera's built like a tank. I tell you what, there's nothing cheesy about this camera. It's a rock solid, like well-designed camera. And so far, well, with the press of a button, it's now serving my needs. And we're going to follow this up next spring with another video and update on the on exactly how well it survived over a winter of -40. So thanks for joining me here today. Come back again. If you've never seen this channel before, you're welcome to subscribe and see some interesting videos about some interesting subjects with an interesting guy like me. Cheers.